it's a highly desirable place to live because there's so much outdoor activities that people can be involved in here. And, a lot of retirees like to look at that as an investment, for the short term, maybe, 5 to 7 years, they're getting close to retirement and they're wanting to buy something that's affordable at today's prices that they can hang on to, so that when they do get ready to retire and live their golden years out, they can retire in a place that's really beautiful that is it has great outdoor spaces where they can go hiking and biking and walk the trail and be in nature. And so it's really a beautiful place to be. The legislation that's been passed down recently in the last few years has been kind of put a dampener on that business. But what they don't realize is, a rental is a rental is a rental. We're not running hostels over here. We're not running a brothel or anything like that. They're just really a family wanting to get away for some good family time to connect.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest has been a realtor since 2005, working in Northwest Arkansas, also licensed in Missouri. She's also an experienced flipper, active in Airbnb, and currently focused on working with buyers and sellers. Please welcome Shauna Geers. Shauna, welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Shauna, I always like to start off at the top, really by asking folks how they got into the real estate space.
So, I grew up as a parent with parents that like to buy and reinvent a home, if you will, and turn around and sell it for a profit and buy something better. And so, and I think I explained to you earlier that my dad was in the recycling business, and so I've been very environmentally conscious from a very young age, and so when I go into a home and I see something that has great bones but just maybe needs to be enhanced a little bit or brought up to speed, with today's styles and transformed, those are the things that that I see can. I mean, I just really have an eye for those kind of things. And with new buyers, first time home buyers today, they always want the new shiny nickel that, they
Right.
see that their parents have and everything. And the reality is, champagne taste, beer budget. So we got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I can go in and just say, hey, if we adjust this paint, maybe, move a wall, change this room a little bit, we can make it functional and it'll be in your price range.
I think, for folks who may be looking at getting into the real estate space, it's helpful to have family or someone to mentor you. I got in, I didn't know anybody, so it was a little bit challenging. But you mentioned parents that were involved in the space, were they, mentors and feedback sources for you along the way? And how often were you talking real estate with them?
They didn't really uh, help with that process. My father died at a very young age. He died at the age of 47 from a massive heart attack. So he didn't really get to see, what I've been doing come to fruition. My mother, on the other hand, she was an investor, and so she would she invested in commercial properties, and that's how she, made her living as an older person, to build her retirement wealth. And so
Yeah.
that's something that, that I'm doing as well. I've got some rental properties and and some commercial properties that I am using to leverage my retirement as well.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I want to ask you about some of the different asset classes that you're involved in. And then also, pairing that with being a realtor, I think it's two different realms, right? I mean, you've got the investing side of real estate, and then you've got being a realtor. I'm an investor agent. And I think when I originally got licensed earlier this year, so I'm a new agent, it seemed like you kind of had to pick which side of the game you wanted to play. Do you want to be an agent or do you want to be an investor? And I think it's an interesting marriage to have both. And to be able to do both. How has it been for you being active as both an investor and an agent?
Well, there's sometimes that I go into a property and I'm thinking, "Oh gosh, I really like this," And it's hard
Right.
to
Let me
like
get
a
it.
candy store, it's kinda like, okay, I feel like a grown-up playing the game of Monopoly, I just wanna sit there, wanna
Right.
buy houses, and add up those houses, maybe even a few hotels, you never know. So, yeah, it's really been kind of the fun grown-up game of Monopoly. I really like to that would be a good way to describe it.
I want to get a little bit granular here, Shauna. Maybe give away some of the gold, but not the whole gold bar for our audience. You've been active in Airbnb. You mentioned you have commercial properties as well. When you're looking at deals, are you looking at on market? Are you looking at off market? Are you looking at distressed? Are you looking for things that are rental grade? What's to you an attractive deal?
So I look for something, that has, good foundation, all of the right things in place, but maybe needs a few tweaks. I've sold a few of those that I think you really need to light a match to and walk away and shut the door. But some investors actually like those kinds
Yeah.
of things. And I've actually seen them bring them back from the dead. So it's really interesting to, see which investor likes what, because when you've got one that's, that in that much of a decrepit state, there's a lot of work that goes into that. It really has to be a passion of yours to, get down and dirty and not only that, but you've got the environmental hazards of an older home.
Yeah, no question.
Usually it's an older home that they have to deal with. So you have to think about those costs as well and factor that into your remodel. I think for me, I like an older home, 70s and up. The older one, now I saw a really cool one over in Neosho not too long ago. Fabulous house. It was actually turned into an accounting firm, but I thought this would make an incredible wedding venue because you could
Really?
do or a bed and breakfast. Yeah, you could have turned it into a bed and breakfast because it had this really ornate, beautiful woodwork throughout. And there were some things that it needed, but overall it was in really immaculate shape for its age. And it was built back in the late 1800s. Fabulous house, and what a great piece of history.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I want to ask you about, you mentioned that you have some Airbnbs. Arkansas is super hot for Airbnbs. I lived in Texas for about 5 years, the last year of which most of it was in Dallas, Texas. And so I would see going on Airbnb, working with investors and then also myself just looking at Airbnbs. I would see Arkansas had some beautiful Airbnbs, treehouse Airbnbs, glamping and all this kind of thing. It's a thing out there in Arkansas, isn't it? There's a lot of really nice Airbnbs out in Arkansas.
Well, it's a highly desirable place to live because there's so much outdoor activities that people can be involved in here. And, a lot of retirees like to look at that as an investment, for the short term, maybe, 5 to 7 years, they're getting close to retirement and they're wanting to buy something that's affordable at today's prices that they can hang on to, so that when they do get ready to retire and live their golden years out, they can retire in a place that's really beautiful that it has great outdoor spaces where they can go hiking and biking and walk the trail and be in nature. And so it's really a beautiful place to be. With that caveat, if you were from Dallas, then you will know that Dallas kind of cut the cut the Airbnbs out and basically said no more
I know.
Airbnbs. They didn't want people doing that. And so the legislation that's been passed down recently in the last few years has been kind of put a dampener on that business. But what they don't realize is, a rental is a rental is a rental. We're not running hostels over here. We're not running a brothel
Yep.
or anything like that. They're just really a family wanting to get away for some good family time to connect and feel like they're at home, and instead of a hotel, have some space where they can cook and they can entertain and feel like they're at home. And I find most of my guests they come for weddings or funerals or family holidays, and they just want to be close to their family. I have a lot of people that come up here and they're maybe looking to invest in the area, or they're looking to buy a long-term home. And so they're renting from me, for 3 months or so until they find the perfect space that they can find to, hang their hat. And to me, it's been a win-win situation because they're not stuck in a lease. They don't have all that money that they
Yeah.
got to put up front into a lease, and then have a specific time that they have to be out. I usually work with those tenants, and when once we find them the perfect house, then we know the date that we're going to close, and I'll end their stay time within that time period so that they can move on to the next chapter of their life.
I want to ask you about some of the other asset classes that you've been involved in, but also that are out there in Arkansas. I know a little bit about Arkansas because of its proximity to Texas, but I've never been there. Shame on me. Need to go, especially to some of these beautiful treehouse Airbnbs that I see with the jacuzzi. I said, gosh, I don't even know how that got up there. It's incredible. But in Arkansas, I'm imagining similar to Texas, you probably have a lot of land that can be developed. Are you seeing a lot of interest from folks in, RV parks, even upscale RV parks, storage facilities, and then, of course, building out new homes as well in Arkansas?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, so I live approximately 25, 30 minutes from the Missouri state line. I've been a licensed Missouri agent since 2005, and I got my Arkansas license in 2016. So I'm very familiar with both areas. I handle all the way from, the Springfield, Ozark, Nixa, Kimberling City area to Joplin, Anderson, Pineville, Goodman. I've even gone as far as Knob Noster, which is all the way up by Kansas City and Whiteman Air Force Base. So I handle a really wide area. I had a lovely home that was built down in, it was a turn of the century home, and it was over by Mount Magazine State Park in Paris, Arkansas. Beautiful home. And the Missouri border is really starting to blow up right now with all of the Arkansas residents, kind of being priced out of our market area since we've got so many people moving in here. And Missouri seems to be a little bit more affordable place for people to be. And it's not that far away. I mean, when you think about it, 2 hours drive to either Tulsa or to Kimberling City and Branson.
Yeah.
You've got, just a few hours to Little Rock. So there's a lot of big metropolitan areas around this area. You have 3 hours to Kansas City. Um, that people can go and, have some fun and get some entertainment from. And so this is just a great place to be. And it's really a thriving community. And I look for our prices to continue to increase. And yes, we have several new RV parks that have opened up. We have also several storage facilities with all the people moving in. So there
Yeah.
are a lot of those going in, especially on the Missouri state line and over into
As someone who works a lot with
Silver
with
Springs.
investors, I think it's interesting. I've had to pivot my strategy when I was more active in wholesale, really away from fix and flip, although that's still, of course, a strategy, and really more towards new builds because the margins for
Yeah.
the flippers was getting
Yeah, the
slimmer and it
margins
was
are
more
not there anymore.
challenging.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, how do I wholesale new? I mean, there's nothing there to wholesale. What do I do? So I then started shifting and looking for basically properties that had to be entirely torn down and it was lot value. And so I was looking for infill lots really. But then I also being in Texas, really in northern Texas, north of Dallas, closer to Oklahoma, honestly, I had the opportunity to see lots of vacant land and the possibilities involved, which really got me thinking about the ADUs, which is how I stumbled upon, alternative dwelling units, which is how I stumbled upon some of those Airbnbs that I saw in Arkansas. And it got me thinking, you could have off-site stick-built modular homes. You could have RV parks. I've even heard an investor on this show that I had on here today was talking about how she's doing great in mobile home, which is a different asset class, but
Deals
nonetheless
on Wheels.
affordable housing.
Deals on Wheels.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a lot of mobile homes around here. We have a lot of places where we have land close by, and, the affordability factor for people has kind of gone out the window on a stick-built home. And so if you can buy a nice modular home, and put that on a permanent foundation, a lot of people are going to that because it's a more affordable price point for the average American. And it gives them a little bit of space, to garden and to, have a few animals and not have the restrictions that, maybe a community would. So,
Yeah, there's no question. I think all of that I would call alternative housing, but also plays that are very land heavy, right? In order to have a RV park, you're going to be a lot of vacant land you'll need, right? Is
we've even
interesting
got
to
some
me, both
yurts.
because
We've even
it's right.
we even got some yurts here for sale. So,
That's right. I mean, especially coming from the perspective of working with flippers and seeing them having uh, more difficult go of it, needing to pivot my business, I'm realizing there's this whole other realm that I really wasn't considering beforehand. And now there's all these other opportunities for developers, young developers too. Shauna, we are coming up on time here though. Where can folks go if maybe they're in the Northwest Arkansas area and maybe they're looking at properties, would like to reach out to you, or if they'd have a deal that they'd like you to look at? How can folks get in contact with you?
so I work for EXP Realty. I've been with them since 2021. I am licensed in both Missouri and Arkansas, and you can call me directly at 417-844-2903 or Shauna.Geers at exprealty.com or ShaunaGeers at gmail.com. They can get a hold of me in any one of those ways.
Shauna, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.